Good morning, class 12. Today we're going to start with the events that led to the disintegration of USSR. And we can see the disintegration of USSR starts with your Mikhail Gorbachev, okay, resignation of Mikhail Gorbachev in 1991. Okay, now when Mikhail Gorbachev had become the president of USSR in 1985, okay, he had come in the era of stagnation. At that time, from mid 1960s to mid 1980s, you can see that Russia was in an era of stagnation, and that was called the Brezhnev's cult of stagnation. Okay, the former president of USSR prior to your Mikhail Gorbachev was your Leonid Brezhnev. Okay, so that was the era of stagnation. Okay, now as Mikhail Gorbachev comes to power, he feels okay that of course just the lofty ideology of dream of prosperity working for good was not working. Okay, but there has to be given some freedom of press, okay, some freedom, okay, to people as where they can really bring a change in the and bring a change in economy. And we had already seen, as your philosophy of communism and Marxism says, okay, the good of all. Okay, but that was not really working practically in USSR. Okay, and the people were also very much not that happy with the government. Okay, as the economy itself was a command economy, okay, where everything was controlled by the government. Okay, so now a little kind of a freedom was required, okay, so that there could be growth in the economy. So that was the basic thought, okay, of Mikhail Gorbachev. Okay, so he wanted a kind of little bit of openness, okay, in the economy, and he wanted a change there so that he can recover the stagnation. Okay, so he started introducing new generation of people, okay, like Boris Yeltsin. Later on, we'll see in the slide, okay, and then he was the first president of Russia, okay, who was elected after 1,000 years, the first formally elected president. Okay, so we'll come to this. So he wanted a kind of change. So he wanted more people, okay, who were adapted to change, and he wanted to improve your diplomatic relations. Okay, so he also felt that instead of using money of building arsenals, okay, use money for resources. Okay, and he did not want mandated prices, okay, that was fixed by the government. Okay, and he wanted to bring about a change. So after but he never thought of the collapse of USSR or the collapse of communism. Okay, but he just wanted to bring a change in the stagnation. Okay, but unfortunately the policies that he adopts, that is the perestroika and glasnost, okay, it leads to the downfall or disintegration of USSR. Okay, so let's see. And this is a very important famous quote, okay, that was said by your Mikhail Gorbachev, okay, where he just wanted to bring a change, okay, in the economy of USSR, but never thought that USSR to be disintegrated or communist downfall. Now there's plenty of everything, like land, oil and gases, other natural riches, and God has given us a lot of intelligence and talent. Yet what happened to we lived much worse than the developed countries and kept falling behind them more and more. Okay, the reason could already be seen. So that is what he's saying. The society was suffocating, okay, in the vice of your command bureaucratic system. Okay, there was no openness. Okay, the command economy. Okay, and it doomed to serve ideology. So it was only a lofty ideology. It did not work practically and bear the terrible burden of the arms race. We are losing a lot of money on arms race rather than use this money for the betterment of the people. Okay, and have various resources for the development of the economy. That is what Mikhail Gorbachev actually wanted. Okay, so that is the policies, as we've already discussed earlier also, his policies of glasnost and perestroika. Glasnost, as we said, openness, freedom of speech, easing of media censorship, as we had already seen in the time of Stalin. Okay, how everything was censored. Okay, all the media was censored. There were no civil rights to given to the people. Okay, nothing could be seen, okay, what the government was doing. There was no openness or the see-through. Okay, so now that he just wanted to bring a change, a little change in the system, okay, but not downfall for communism. Then another one was perestroika, that's restructuring and reformation. That means changing the economy that they were believing in, the command economy. Okay, now he wanted to have a kind of a mixed economy, give a little freedom to your private enterprises also. Okay, bring it here, make it little kind of a capitalistic economy. So he wanted a mixed economy actually. Okay, so now when this changes was taking in USSR, now the Eastern European countries, okay, as these were called your Warsaw Pact countries, because these were your satellite states that was looked after by USSR. Okay, all they were funded by USSR. Okay, and they were known as a Warsaw country, and we had seen by the Warsaw Pact that was signed also, they were under the clutches of USSR. They were dependent on USSR. Now these states also wanted relaxed policies to the demands of sovereignty and independence, and also wanted they wanted in Eastern and Central Europe, and also in the 15 sub-national states, Soviets. Okay, they wanted all independence. Now, 1989, as we know, is the year of revolutions. Okay, now why year of revolution? Because we can see there were a lot of revolutions taking place in all these Eastern European countries. They were asking for independence, but Gorbachev did not send any of the forces or army to suppress this revolts as it had been done earlier. Now, from summer 1989 to 91. There were revolutions in Poland, Hungary, East Germany, Czechoslovakia, Bulgaria, Romania, and Yugoslavia. Nationalist movement also had started to gain independence here, and they did not want any more of USSR influence and any communist puppet governments here in Eastern Europe. But Gorbachev, as I said earlier, did not send army to suppress any of the protester movement, so hence they started asking for independence. Okay, and finally we also have the fall of the Berlin Wall in November 1989. Now, as we see here, the Baltic states, mainly Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Now, what did they think, or what did they say, was that they were never a part of USSR. Okay, they were actually already independent states after World War One. They declared as independent states. Okay, but it was only during the course of World War Two these were all annexed by USSR. So they felt that they were never the part of USSR. Okay, and hence they were the first states to ask for independence. Okay. So after the Central Eastern European countries, okay, they were the first three, okay, they were asking for independence and said that we are never part of your USSR. So 1987, these Soviets, now they declare sovereignty or independence, as I said, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. And throughout 1919, so therefore one by one, all the sub-national states, Soviets now started becoming independent. That finally leads to your August coup. Your coup is your forceful removal, okay, of your authority at the government. So they wanted to remove Mikhail Gorbachev from power. Now, it was led by your senior party leaders, okay, and to the people it was said that, okay, Mikhail Gorbachev, okay, had gone for a holiday to Crimea, okay, and from there only he was arrested, okay, by the senior hardliner communists, and he was put under house arrest, okay, and told the people that he was sick, and so he was under in the house. Okay, so that was actually he was put under house arrest. Okay, so finally that led to people's unrest, and people of course did not want did not make this coup d'etat did not make it a success. Okay, because people here, only half of the majority of the Red Army, they refused to support the coup leaders. Okay, because they also wanted independence from USSR. They did not want to be part of USSR, so they wanted USSR to be they wanted the breakdown of the USSR, so all these states to become independent. Okay, so this is one important figure. You have Boris Yeltsin, okay, where we're talking about allowing the new generation to come, okay, and that's how Mikhail Gorbachev had given a place to him, and he was the first, elected, you can say, the president of Russia, okay, as Russia declares sovereignty from USSR. Okay, he was the first president of Russia, okay, after in 1,000 years of history of Russia, he was the first elected president. Okay, he is Boris Yeltsin. Children, please remember that. Now, after that, you have the resignation of your Gorbachev also, okay, 1991. So with that, the breakup process accelerated. So 8th December 1991, the three main or the big states of USSR, that is Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus, they signed the Belavezha Accord. You have to remember the name of all these accords. Okay, with this, they declared themselves as independent and no more a part of the Union. So that is Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus, the first three states to declare themselves independent. Okay, and they signed the Belavezha Accord, now which dissolved the USSR. Now the USSR was no more, okay, the Union of the Socialist Republic, okay, and they established themselves as the CIS, that is known as the Commonwealth of Independent States. Now Gorbachev also resigns as president of USSR on 25th of December 1991, and he After he signs that, okay, it was the Alma Ata Declaration that was signed, where all the Supreme Soviet, okay, the Supreme Soviet, that was the highest, lawmaking body of the Soviet, okay, also dissolves the union on 26th of December 1991, and hence you have the disintegration of USSR into 17 independent states. Okay, children. So this much for today. Please make a note of it and please send this as your assignment. Okay, thank you.